Hello, happy Wednesday, and it is a happy Wednesday. Wow, I had an awesome night last night. Bunch of dogs hit, made a bunch of money, made about half of my losses from that cold streak I got back. I need another like 4.4 units, I think, to get all the losses from that cold streak back. Hell of a start. This is the reason that Toast and FTB aren't here yet is because I sent them the link super late. I sent them the link at like 3:58, so that's my fault. I'm just waiting on them to join. But last night was awesome, and in the Sauce VIP chat, it wasn't even me. It was that guy Tim. Was like, yo, let's take the Nats live right now. He got it like plus 330, and we were all like, all right, screw it, let's do it. So we had another big plus money cash on top of everything. What a great night. Had a lot of fun. We're waiting for the guests here. Let's see if they... Nope, still waiting on them. So yeah, we'll wait for a second to get started. 13 games to go through. In case you didn't hear, I'm taking the over in the one that's just about to start. And you know what, real quick, why don't I run through my notes for that game? That's this one, Washington at Seattle. So I took the over. I got it at 8 on FanDuel, but I think it's 8.5 on most books. You know what? I'll put it on the screen and everything. We have a couple minutes to kill before they get here. So this is what I bet. Over, I think I got it like minus 122, somewhere in there. Who said that? Okay, hold on. Let me try resending the link. I'm getting people saying the link isn't working. Let me try one more time. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I sent him the wrong link. My bad, guys. Alright, that should get FTP in, and now let me send it. I don't think Prop Beaver's coming on camera, but he'll be in the background, maybe feeding us a prop or two. Toast, if you're listening, try this link that I'm emailing right now. That's my bad. Oh, yep, FTB is here. Let's get him on the screen. What's going on, man? All right, there he is. So he's ready, and then we're just waiting for Toast. Real quick, I was just going to run through the notes for the game that's starting now. So yeah, I took the over. I got it at minus 122 on FanDuel at 8. I would assume it's probably not available anymore because it was at 8.5 at pretty much every other book. Patrick Corbin on the road. I don't think I even need to give you a pitch on why the over's a good play when Patrick Corbin pitches on the road. I'm a Patrick Corbin guy too, so if there was a reason to back Patrick Corbin, or if there was an angle that shows he should pitch well, I would find it and I would give it to you, but it's really not there. Seattle's lineup has been better against lefties than it is against righties. So I don't even trust the Mariners lineup, but I trust them to score some runs here. And then the other side, Logan Gilbert. He's been a little bit shaky at home, but it's really not. It's not Logan Gilbert that's put me on the over for Seattle. It's their bullpen completely cooked. If you saw, I tweeted it out earlier. They're missing Munoz, Sewald, and one more guy. I can't think of it, but they're missing their 2 best arms, and then their other guy who I would consider their 4th best arm. So they're missing 3 of their main bullpen arms. So I expect Washington to score runs on the Seattle bullpen, and that's how I got to the over. Toast, is that you? No, that's Prop Beaver in the background. All right, so I know Toast was having internet problems today, so what we're going to do is we're going to start without him if he makes it cool. If not, I'm sure he'll share some stuff in the comments. All right. So let's go right on to the first game. Well, the first game tonight, which is Padres at Pirates. What a weird-ass game last night. I'm glad I didn't... I had it in a parlay, in the community parlay that I tailed. I actually had it in my parlay of the day also. So I did have some money on the Padres, but it wasn't a game that I was fully invested in. I just kept looking at the score, and it was like 7 runs Pirates, 8 runs. I think they finished with 9. Who the hell could have seen that coming? In this one, let me open up my notes real quick. I think the best angle here would be, and this is not one of my favorite bets of the night, but I think my favorite angle here would be Padres first 5 minus the half run. It's at minus 115 as of a couple hours ago. So Mitch Keller, a bit of a question mark at this point of the season. The month of June has just been a complete up and down roller coaster for Mitch. He gets hammered by Oakland, then shuts down the Mets. Then he gets rocked by Milwaukee, then shuts down the Marlins. It makes it really tough to make a prediction with this guy on the mound right now, at least until we start seeing some kind of consistency. And the Padres lineup has been hitting righties. They're 9th in WRC+, 10th in OPS against righties in the last 14 days. So I think the Padres can score on Mitch. Padres also have been hitting on the road, too. They're top 5 in basically every single offensive category on the road in the last 30 days. So not only the Padres hitting righties, but they're also hitting on the road. Two bad two bad ingredients for Mitch Keller there. I think the Padres score runs on him early. I think we can count on the Padres to get at least 2 or 3 off him. And then the other side, if you haven't heard, Blake Snell is on a warpath. Since May 24th, he's made 6 starts. He's allowed a total of 2 earned runs. 2. He's allowed 2 runs in his last 6 starts. And his FIP during that time is a 1.76, indicating that this dude's not even getting lucky. He is literally dealing at that level. Blake Snell is a monster right now. Pittsburgh's bats miraculously came to life last night. I'm not willing to bet on that happening again. If the Padres full game money line, if you can get it at -150, I like it. I don't know if I want to lay the 1.5. So I'll say Padres first 5 -0.5 run at -115. Or if you want to take the Padres money line, if you can get it below -150, but I doubt you're going to be able to get it there because I saw it at like -170 on some books. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect segue into what I like. And I like that Pittsburgh kind of went off offensively last night, kind of lends me into thinking it's more of a letdown spot for their offense. But yeah, Blake Snell's been amazing. So I'm on his outs, over 17.5 outs, -105 on DK. Couldn't believe we even got that line. He's covered this in 5 straight games, 8 of his last 10 games. In 4 June starts, he's been incredibly productive and efficient, which he's had issues with earlier this season and throughout his career. His walk rate is down to 6% in those starts. Year-long walk rate all the way up at 12%. So he's kind of getting that in control somewhat. 3 straight games with double-digit Ks. One of those games he had 3 walks as well, and still only threw 102 pitches in that game. Pittsburgh definitely has been better versus lefties, but still hitting just .216 as a team. Only .280 on base percentage, just a 77 WRC plus in the last 186 at bats versus lefties. If you look at that game log versus lefties, I don't have it in front of me, but there's a ton of people. Luzardo just shut them down. Smiley shut them down. I think that was like a couple weeks back. They've just been absolutely shut down by all different levels of left-handed starters, elite ones, not so great ones. No Brian Reynolds still. Brian Hayes might play. I think he's going to play. He was out yesterday, I think the last 2 days. But Brian Hayes and McCutchen have been the only Pirates to be even serviceable versus left-handed pitching. Kutch's 0-for-6 lifetime versus Snell, so I don't worry too much about him at the top of that lineup. 4 guys in the Pittsburgh order are batting under 200 over the last month versus left-handed pitching. Pittsburgh's going to stack righties versus Snell. They have that ability. They're projected 8 in the lineup. There might be all 9 righties in the lineup. Probably not because of Bay. But Snell has been dominant versus right-handed hitters this year. Just a 192 batting average allowed, 118 whip. He's stranding 86% of base runners. So even if he does walk guys get on base, he's stranding nearly 90% of the runners that get on base. Just a 384 FIP, which is great. Just a 30% hard hit rate and a 2.82 ERA. So I think he's going to slice through this lineup. Some days Snell goes out there and he just doesn't have it. He's not finding the strike zone. He's walking a lot of guys. Pittsburgh's walk rate has not been elite the whole year in the last 30 days. So I think he has a great game. I think he pitches at minimum 6 really, really good innings. So I think this outs line is a gift. So over 17.5 outs, -105.
Yeah, I don't see anything pointing to Blake Snell throwing a bad game. All right, let's move on to the next one. Cincinnati at Baltimore. You guys are gonna hate this one. And this isn't one of my favorite bets. So like, you're trust me, you're all gonna disagree with it. And but I'm not going to fight you on it. If you want to go ahead and bet the Reds, I'm taking Baltimore -1.5. Let's see what the odds are at now because I wrote this down a while ago. Baltimore -1.5 is at. Come on now, load up. Plus 118 on Barstool. All right. I'm already bracing myself for a lot of negative comments on this one. So this is like I'm expecting a lot of runs today. Ballpark Pal has the Oriole Park ranked second in positive runs today. And if you're looking at these two recent the numbers from these two starting pitchers in recent history, I'm sure everyone's rushing to bet the over here with Luke Weaver versus Kyle Gibson. But despite Kyle Gibson having some rough surface level numbers in his last 5 starts, his FIP is actually down at 3.37, indicating that there's definitely some positive regression around the corner. We know Kyle Gibson's capable of pitching well. We know he's capable of being a pitcher we can trust at home. I think this might be a start where we can see that. Look, fading the Reds sounds crazy. The Reds' numbers against right-handed pitching the last 14 days, I'm not going to argue with them. 3rd in OPS, 4th in WRC+. That being said, what do I keep saying about the Reds? Against who? They haven't seen a single decent right-handed starter until last night. They finally saw Tyler Wells, and what did Tyler Wells do? 6 good innings. 6 innings, 2 runs. He pitched well against the Reds. It was the first decent right-handed pitcher they've seen in almost a month. So everyone's singing the Reds' praises. They haven't seen anybody. Now, Tyler Wells has been more reliable than Kyle Gibson this year. I'll give you that. But if Tyler Wells is able to throw 6 innings of 2-run ball against the Reds, is it that crazy to think that Kyle Gibson is going to do the same thing? I don't think it's crazy to think that. Like I said, I expect some positive regression for Kyle Gibson on the horizon. And then on the other side, there's no way I could back Luke Weaver. I mean, he's been absolutely dreadful. In his last 4 starts, he's given up 20 runs in just 16 2/3 innings. He's got an ERA of 10.80 in his last 4 starts. This man got smacked around by the Royals. And then Baltimore's lineup, in the last 4 days alone, we've seen Baltimore get to Bryce Miller. We've seen him get to George Kirby. I have no hesitation backing Baltimore to score a lot of runs in this game. So if you don't want to do the -1.5 and you want to stick to maybe just Baltimore team total over, I expect the O's to score some runs in this game, and I think Kyle Gibson can pitch well. That's my main angle.
Yeah, I really tried to get on the same thing. I was really hoping the Baltimore team total was 4.5. I would have smashed that, but at 5.5, I'm a little wary about that. The bullpen's rested. Cano and Bautista are rested. They should be ready to go in this game. Just Kyle Gibson, I agree. I think there's some positive regression coming. I got to see it first, though. But I do think Baltimore wins this game. But I'm taking a couple of different angles. So I'm gonna go Ellie De La Cruz over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. That's -130 on DK. I also got to take the fastest man alive. I got to take his stolen base at +245 on DK. So 2+ HRR on 7 his last 10 games. Man's been hot as shit, as most of you probably know. Last 48 at bats, batting .319, almost a 600 slugging, 255 ISO, 135 WRC+. And that's with him not really doing anything over the last 3 games. He had another one of these little stretches, these little 3-game stretches earlier in his young career, where he didn't really produce 3 straight hitless games. I think he only had 1 run in those 3 games. In the next 6 games after that stretch, he hit .519, slugging almost 1,000, a 1,500 OPS, a 444 ISO, and a 300 WRC+, 7 extra base hits in that span, 6 RBIs, and 9 runs in 6 games. So just started tearing the cover off the ball, and I'm expecting him to bounce back again just like that. Last 14 days versus right-handed pitching, he's batting .371, OPS is 1,100, ISO is 343. Sitting right in the middle of this stacked Cincinnati lineup. Killers in front of him, killers behind him. Ellie crushes Gibson's pitch mix, 539 WOBA and a 500 batting average versus the cutter, 383 WOBA, 278 batting average versus the changeup, and he's a really good fastball hitter. I'm expecting him to get on base, obviously, and if he does, there's no question he's going to run. He has no hesitation when he's on first, no hesitation when he's on second. So anytime I'm expecting him to get on base, I'm going to play his stolen base. So I really like Ellie. I also like Santander today. I'm taking over 1.5 total bases at -115 on MGM. I'm sorry. I'm also taking it for a home run at +340 on FanDuel. Just another guy. He's absolutely destroying baseballs right now. Covered his total bases in 7 of his last 10 games. Also crushes Weaver's pitch mix. Weaver doesn't discriminate. He lets it go from, gives it up from the left side and the right side of the plate, especially the left side of the plate where Santander is going to be today. So I really like him. I think he hits multiple baseballs hard today. He's also destroyed Cincinnati in his career. He went hitless yesterday, but I think the last 3 or 4 career games versus Cincinnati, he's had 2+ hits. So I think there's a ton of ways he cashes this. Obviously, one swing at a bat for a home run cashes both. I think he can get multiple hits. So yeah, I'm expecting him to have a good game. So heavy on Ellie and heavy on Santander today.
All right, let's move on to the next one. The people are making fun of you saying positive regression. When we're talking about pitching, lesser is better. So a regression in his earned run numbers, which is positive. It makes sense. But anyway, next game. Giants at Blue Jays. A little confused by this one. Maybe I'm walking into a huge trap. Obviously, I'm on the Giants. It was at plus 100. Let's see if it's still there. Maybe like I said, maybe I'm walking into a huge trap. Maybe I'm a huge sucker for this one. But it's okay. It's up to minus 107. So all right, we see some line movement in the right direction. Good. So Giants money line minus 107. I didn't even write many notes about this one because it doesn't even. I mean, Giants are now 13-2 in their last 15 games. This is one of the hottest teams in baseball with their ace on the mound. Logan Webb's pitching. I don't know what really the odds makers are thinking here. Sure, Toronto's a good team, but this is a bullpen day for them, I guess, right? With Richards pitching. No question. I'm on the Giants, and the only angle I can see is maybe you're like, okay, Giants are going to be missing Tyler Rogers from the bullpen tonight, which is huge because he's nice. He threw 29 pitches last night, but they still got the other one, Taylor Rogers, and Duvall only threw 20 pitches last night. And he had 2 days off before that, so I'd assume Duvall's available too. There's no way I can get to Toronto here. Giants money line.
Yeah, ultimately it's going to be a pass for me. I will lean Giants too. I saw that plus money earlier. It's the only way I would take the Giants. But when I woke up, I didn't really know who was pitching. Then I saw it was Richards, bullpen day. Don't really love that. So I can make cases for both sides. So I'm going to just pass.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Marlins at Red Sox. Another one where I felt like my decision was a little easy here. Dude, Braxton Garrett is a freak right now. I'm on the fish. I think I got it at minus 130. Let's see if I can get it at a better line right now before I type it up. Yeah, minus 130 on Barstool and FanDuel. So minus 130 is the best we can do. Still taking it. Braxton Garrett has been pitching out of his mind. Prop Beaver sent me this tweet the other day. So since May 1st, Braxton Garrett is striking out over 32% of the batters he faces. Over 32%. The Marlins are 7-1 in his last 8 starts, including 5 straight wins. I know traveling to Fenway Park might scare you, right? Got Braxton Garrett going on the road to Fenway. And if you look at the Boston Red Sox recent hitting numbers against left-handed pitching, it might scare you even more because in the last 14 days, they're second in OPS and second in WRC+. So the Red Sox have some monster-looking numbers against left-handed pitching. But you want to hear the only 2 lefty starters the Red Sox have seen in that time span? Austin Gomer and Tanner Banks. And if you rewind before that, so if you go before 2 weeks, like let's see some other lefty starters and how the Red Sox hit them. Shane Mack shut him down. Tyler Anderson shut him down. Tyler Anderson went like 6 innings, 1 run against Boston. I'm definitely down to back. I almost said Braxton Miller. I'm definitely down to back Braxton Garrett in this spot. Don't have a ton of faith in the Marlins bats, but it looks like Boston's going to be using Chris Murphy as their primary pitcher here. He's a lefty, and that changes everything because when you switch the Marlins numbers from their numbers against righties and switch it over to their numbers against lefties, all of a sudden the Marlins lineup doesn't look nearly as worrisome. The last 14 days, they're 10th in OPS, 10th in WRC plus against lefties. So add on the fact that we can count on the Marlins getting at least 3 or 4 innings, you'd think, against a left-handed pitcher. I think it opens the door for a Miami money line play. I'm down to lay the minus 130 juice here and back Braxton Garrett for sure.
Yeah, I really
Toast is here. Hold on, Toast is here.
Uh-oh.
He made. Yeah, we can hear you. They're going to be able to hear you in 1 second. So Toast has made it. Let's see him.
It's out of my control, but I do feel bad.
It's all right. So we're on the Marlins Red Sox. I just took Marlins money line and I gave some numbers on Braxton Garrett.
Dope. Braxton Garrett, excuse me, dead on pitch for me, all over the fish. Killing myself for not taking the fish yesterday, but yeah, I'm with you. I'm on the fish as well.
All right, cool. FDB, are you going 3 in a row on the fish?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the way I would lean. I couldn't get there on the side, unfortunately, but I haven't decided which hitter I'm going to target, whether it's Verdugo or Justin Turner. Verdugo's on a massive history right now, spanning back to before he was out. I think it was bereavement on a 13-game hit streak. Hits above 280 against all 3 Braxton Garrett's pitches. His expected batting average and expected slugging is even higher than his actual numbers against those pitches. Even though it's a lefty-lefty matchup, he does just fine versus lefties. And Justin Turner's just been a madman as of late. So Braxton Garrett slightly worse to right-handed hitters as opposed to left-handed hitters. So it's either going to be a Justin Turner bases or throwing Verdugo in a hit lay, but still got to decide. So nothing official right now. Definitely would lean towards the fish with you guys.
All right, I put Justin Turner total bases as a lean for now, just so he could have something. He'll probably tweet it out later. So anyway, let's move on to the next game. Brewers at Mets, not a game I love. I am going to give a bet out for it, though. I'm going to put Brewers money line on the screen. This is one of the ones. Oh, by the way, if you subscribe to my website and you're wondering why the picks aren't up, because there's 12 of them, and I'm trying to narrow it down to 9 or 10. I couldn't decide, so I was like, you know what? I'm running out of time. Let me just do the show, and then I'll narrow it down. This might be one of the bets that gets narrowed down. Milwaukee money line. Let me pull up my notes here. All right, so Prop Beaver was the one that let me know that Kodai Senga's on 4 days rest, and they don't do that in Japan, apparently. The last time he pitched on 4 days rest, he got absolutely rocked. That was from Prop Beaver. Prop Beaver lands a jab to start this one out. So the Brewers, let's talk about the Brewers' bats. Despite being awful against righties on paper, they've actually hit a few righty starters up recently. They scored 4 on Savali, scored 4 on Shane Bieber. They scored 3 on Ryan Nelson. So I think we need to, as of the last 2 weeks, I think we need to take a step back and maybe reevaluate what we think about this Brewers lineup. I mean, I think it's enough of a sample size when we can no longer cap this lineup as the basement of Major League Baseball, which is what we were doing for the first 6-7 weeks of the season. But this bet is not on the Brewers lineup. This is not a fade of Kodai Senga. This bet is on Wade Miley, who's been a monster since he came back from injury. He's only made 2 starts. He's thrown 11 innings, hasn't given up a single run. 11 scoreless innings since he returned from injury. Just 5 hits. Nobody's touching this dude. He's been untouchable. Sure, the Mets have been hitting left-handed starters a little bit recently. If you look at the last handful of lefty starters, the Mets have gotten to him. But which of these names impress you? Here are the lefty starters the Mets have just seen. Christopher Sanchez, Matthew Liberatore, Rich Hill. They did see Framber Valdez, but we want to know what Framber did to the Mets? 8 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. Framber shut this Mets lineup down. I expect Wade Miley to do the same thing. And look, I don't really trust the Milwaukee bullpen, but I don't trust the Mets bullpen either. The only reason I'm on the Brewers here is the plus 120 price tag. So that's the way I'd lean. I don't know if I necessarily would kick the door down to tell you the Brewers are going to win this game, but I like Wade Miley. I don't trust the Mets bullpen or Kodai Senga, and I think plus 120 is good value.
Am I up?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm all over the Mets here. Understand that Kodai Senga is on a little bit of a short rest, but he's done it. I know he got rocked the last time he did it, but it's still a pass that he needs to test, or a test that he needs to pass. I assume that we get the good one, and he's actually kind of been good to me every time. It seems like every time I back him, I mean, he's only let me down a couple of times. And then this Brewers lineup with Wade Miley, I understand that he's pitched really well against Cleveland and Pittsburgh and St. Louis. But the Dodgers got to him pretty bad. I'm not trying to make an argument that the Mets are just like the Dodgers. But at the same time, over the last 2 weeks, at least 10 games, it's not the Mets bats for the most part. They've had a couple of duds in there. But it's not the Mets bats that are letting them down. So I don't really have a worry about that. If Kodai Senga is able to get through 5 or 6 decently with the Mets with a small lead or whatever, I'd take my chances. So I did play the Mets on the money line, and I sprinkled -1.5 at plus 140.
I just did some line shopping. Toast has Mets money line at -142, not -145. That's on FanDuel. the best bet, if you're tailing me, is DraftKings at plus 125. So, FTB, are you breaking this tie?
Absolutely not. I mean, I backed Milwaukee big yesterday, and they let me down. I backed them in a variety of ways, so I'm still a little bit salty. The only thing that I came up with, it's not official yet, I might make it official, is Senga 5+ Ks and a Brandon Nimmo hit. That was around minus 120 on FanDuel. Probably will make it official, but I mean, the Senga Ks, I was hoping the original number was 5.5. We got a 6.5 at plus money, which I don't mind, but I think there's a little bit of a safer path. Milwaukee's awful. The numbers say it. The eye test says it. I've been watching a lot of Milwaukee baseball, and these guys just swing and pray up there. It's horrible to watch. They're second the last 14 days in K percentage, almost 29%. There's going to be a variety of K targets in the lineup for Senga. I think that Ghost Fork is going to do work versus lineup. He has great pitches to set it up versus these guys. So, and Brandon Nimmo, Wade Miley has been great, and that's kind of what scared me. It took a lot for me to get to Nimmo hit, but Nimmo's been great versus lefties, good versus pitch mix at the top of the order, obviously. So hopefully, chances for more at bats. So I like that little lay. Don't want to pick a winner in this one. So not official, probably going to be just a lean for now. That's all I got.
All right.
One more thing really quickly with the Mets against Miley. One other thing that intrigued me is that they don't have like eye-popping numbers against him, but they've seen a lot. Marte, Canna, Lindor, Pham, Vogelbach, all PD, all seen him like 10 times. So they should know how to hit. They should be able to have a little bit of success there with him. Alonso has really good numbers against him. Lindor has really good numbers against him. I'm on Lindor's total bases today. So that's another reason that I like the Mets as well.
All right. It looks like I'm on an island with Milwaukee, but like, if that was one of my favorite bets, I'd be down to fight with Toast on it, but it's not.
It's Beaver's in your head with the Senga stuff. He hates him. He's never said a positive thing about him ever. Never once.
Oh, Beaver's he's grabbing he's pissed. He's shaking his head like he's. I don't have his mic set up, so he can't defend himself. He's mad though. So anyway, next game's Houston at Cardinals, and I gotta say, I'm so surprised you weren't on the Cardinals with me last night, Toast. I really am surprised. I thought for sure.
It's because I bet it. It's because I bet it the night before. I truly didn't think it was going to be so public. I knew I was dead as soon as I woke up in the morning.
Yeah. Well, this one, I think the public's right in this one, but
so do I.
What I'm gonna do though, I'm a little scared. So I'm splitting my money in half. I'm putting half on Houston money line to plus 100, and the other half on the over at 8.5. That way, protect me a little bit. If the public's about to get rinsed again, like they did last night, I at least am a little protected with the over 8.5. So here are my angles on this one. Everyone hated my Cardinals pick last night. That's my first note I wrote for this. But I put my faith in Jordan Montgomery, and he came through. The reason for that was Montgomery had been dealing, and the Astros were showing signs of slumping against left-handed pitching in the last couple weeks. Here's the thing, though. Miles Michaelis is most definitely not a lefty, and he's most definitely not dealing. This changes everything, because when we look at the Houston numbers, yeah, they may be pretty awful if you look at the recent history against lefties the last 10, 14 days. But if you switch that to the numbers against righties, all of a sudden the Astros are 11th in OPS, 11th in WRC+. So the Astros are hitting right-handed pitchers. Want to see the recent righty starters to pitch against Houston? They rocked Tony Gonsolin. They rocked Bobby Miller. They rocked Tyler McGill, Meatball McGill. They rocked Justin Verlander. Houston's seeing right-handed pitching fine right now. And Miles Michaelis, like I said, he's not dealing like Montgomery is. Cards are 0-4. Michaelis' last 4 starts. He's got a 5.63 ERA in the month of June. I truly think the Astros get to this dude. Now, here's the reason I'm protecting my Houston bet with the over, because this is what I think the odds makers' angles are. This is what I think the odds makers' angle is for making this line what it is. I don't think they trust Christian Javier, and I don't know if I agree or disagree, but I could see it. He's been unreliable as hell this month. We just saw the Mets hit this dude into another planet in his last start. We also saw Cleveland completely annihilate Christian Javier just a few weeks back. Cards bats have been hitting righties in the last 14 days. They're 10th in WRC+, 12th in OPS. The last righty they saw was Marcus Stroman, and they hit him up bad. Granted, that was in London, but still, Stroman's a beast. They didn't get to Trevor Williams. Trevor Williams pitched well against the Cards, but before that, they crushed Josiah Gray. They crushed Carlos Carrasco. Cards are hitting righties right now, and Christian Javier is not bringing his best stuff. So that's a little concerning. But overall, I expect the Astros to murder Michaelis, and I think that should be enough to cash this bet. But like I said, I'm protecting. Half on Houston money line, half on the over.
Yeah, I did half and half. I did half on the first 5 money line and half on the full game money line. First and foremost, Christian Javier is a bet-on pitcher for me. The fact that his last road start, he got hit up in Cleveland, and his last start in general at home, he got hit up by the Mets. Makes me like him to come out with some fire today. Yes, the Cardinals have hit righties well, but they haven't seen a fastball like they see the invisible with Christian Javier. So if they can get to that without having a lot of experience with it, touche to them. I don't expect Michaelis to be 5 and 6 runs like we have against the Mets in Cincinnati, but it wouldn't surprise me either. I mean, the Astros are hitting the ball pretty well. I mean, as of last night, I mean, you take that 2 runs away from them. 6 and 7 the game before. There's a 10 sprinkled in there, so they're not having trouble scoring runs either. I was worried about seeing what would happen with these teams coming back from Europe. Obviously the Cubs didn't come through for me. Everybody cashed their Phillies tickets. I felt pretty dumb on that one, but I'd be curious to see if this second night back has anything to do with their legs either. I mean, I'm just speculating at that point, but the people I've talked to said that it could be maybe the second game that gets the St. Louis and the Cubs legs, not just the first one, because they're playing on fumes on the first one, but that's either here or there. I trust Javier and I trust the bad guys. I'll take him at plus money.
Yeah, I agree. I think you guys broke that down really, really well. The Houston bullpen still scares the fuck out of me. So I'm going to take the first 5 money line just like Toes did. Couldn't believe it was plus money. I came on here and I took a fuck you mulligan yesterday on the Rangers and I pulled through. I also took Houston same bet, Houston first 5 money line yesterday, and they fucked that away in the 5th inning. And this is my fuck you mulligan today. So, you guys broke down the stats and matchups perfectly. I'll just throw some trends in there. I mean, Christian Javier, Sosa's right. He's been kind of hot and cold this year, but he's been a first 5 wagon for the last couple of years. Since the beginning of 2022, he's 25, 11, and 6 straight up in the first 5. Just this year alone, he's 10, 3, and 5 straight up in the first 5. And on the road, this year, he's 5, 1, and 1 in the first 5 straight up. So he's been a wagon. On the other side, Michaelis has been the exact opposite. This year, he's only 4, 7, and 5 straight up in the first 5. And I found this really interesting. As a favorite, he's just 1, 7, and 2 straight up in the first 5. And the major difference between these two guys, the Astros back up Javier really, really effectively offensively. And all of these spots in the first 5 that I just discussed, they're averaging 3.5 plus runs in the first 5, and the exact opposite with Michaelis. For some reason, St. Louis just does not like backing him up with offense in the first 5. As a favorite, they're scoring less than 1 run in the first 5 in his start. So I agree with both of you guys. I think Houston really, really gets to Michaelis. I think they score 3 to 4 runs in the first 5, and you don't have to trust Javier to absolutely lock down the Cardinals. So I think he does. But yeah, I love this play. I'm also taking Houston first 5 team total at 1.5. I couldn't believe it was 1.5. It is a little juiced at minus 140 on DK, but those two things are correlated. So I'll take the plus money and I'll take the slight juice with the 1.5 team total for Houston.
One thing I also didn't mention, Hicks and sorry, Sauce, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask to repeat that. What did you say? It was Michaelis is 1 and 7 in the first 5 as a favorite. Is that what you said?
Yeah, he's as a favorite this year, he's 1, 7, and 2 straight up in the first 5.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Damn. That is terrible.
I wonder why my research team missed that one.
And the
interesting.
I only have one member of my research team.
And in that
I knew it was Beaver. That's all I needed.
Yeah, and as a favorite in those situations, which is probably why he's so horrible, is St. Louis just isn't scoring runs. They're averaging less than a run per first 5, so that's part of the reason too.
I just wanted to add that Hicks and Gallegos, their top 2 relievers for the Cardinals, have worked 2 of the last 3 days. So maybe one of them's available, but I doubt both of them are available tonight. And Astros didn't use any of their top 3 arms last night, so they're good to go.
I got to say, I am a little more confident. I thought, because yesterday I was pretty pretty heavy on the Cardinals. It wasn't one of my top bets, but when I saw all the comments, "You're an idiot, Astros," I was like, okay, I really like this bet now. Today, there's a lot of people calling us idiots in the comments saying Cardinals are the play. So, hey, man, this might make the ticket now. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Did I mess up the graphics for this one? Oh,
no, that's on Beaver.
No, I actually think that one's on me because this is from the render file. So the background that goes behind the graphics is me. That's all right. You can still see him. It's just a weird black background. So Phillies at Cubs. Yeah, this is an easy one. Cubs, without a doubt.
Oh, thank God. I was gonna say, if you're on the field, I'm gonna be losing my mind.
I knew I was betting the Cubs. Hold on one sec. Let me get my notes out. Let me just put this in its place. Cubs money line plus 118. So I knew I was betting the Cubs as soon as I cashed with the public last night on the Phillies. As soon as that happened, I was thinking like, okay, I might like the Cubs tomorrow. Let me check this out. This was last night, probably around like midnight. And I looked and I saw Aaron Nola pitching against Drew Smyly being a lefty. And I was like, oh my God, Cubs at plus money. Yeah. So definitely on the Cubs here, plus 118. So like I said, Drew Smyly's on the mound, who's a lefty, which changes things when it comes to this Phillies lineup. Now, it doesn't really show it in the last like couple weeks because the Phillies, actually, yeah, it does actually. Because if you look at the last 14 days, Phillies drop all the way down to 26th in WRC plus and 25th against left-handed pitching. This is not a Phillies lineup that I trust against lefties. I haven't trusted them against lefties this entire season. It's not like that's something new either. Now, Drew Smyly, I will admit the splits are not in his favor here. First of all, he's been better on the road this year than he has been at home at Wrigley Field. Also, he's been better against right-handed bats. But let me just check the Phillies lineup to see who's in there. The projected lineup, I should say. I have it open right here. It'll only take a second. The Phillies actually only have 3 lefties in their projected lineup, so scratch that. He's better against righties. That's what I was going to say. The overall point is the splits may not be in Drew Smyly's favor, but I like Drew Smyly, and it's the first lefty. I expect him to deal against the Phillies because he's a lefty. I got so unorganized with my notes here. And then also, here's the icing on the cake. The Cubs bullpen has really found itself. Cubs bullpen has been producing lately, and they're rested. I really like the Cubs a lot at this price.
Yeah, I can't agree more. I was looking to get on Smyly after a bad home start, and then obviously going against Pittsburgh again. I understand how bad Pittsburgh is, but it's not easy to face the same Major League Baseball team twice. So to see him get rocked, to come back and pitch a gem, I think he should be able to pitch well today. And then some of the Cubs have just really seen Aaron Nola, not necessarily like fantastic, like crazy good numbers, but a lot of plate appearances. A lot of them are Dansby Swanson. I do like Dansby Swanson over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 120. But Yan Gomes has some pretty decent numbers. He's got some power in that bat. In the bottom of the lineup. So Christopher Morel has, I think, two hits. Yeah, 2 hits. One of them a double, one of them a homer off of Nola. So a lot of good things. Suzuki's hadn't seen him a few times. So I just think that all the value is on the Cubs here at plus money. They always play much better at home, and they've actually been playing pretty good baseball over the last month. So at plus money, it was a pretty easy decision for me.
Yeah, I'd lean that way as well, especially because it's plus money. That's the only way I'd lean that way. I don't have the greatest read on this game. Again, I can make cases for both sides. So officially, I'll pass, but I definitely would lean with you guys.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. The one guy who talked about Beaver, he's like, I could just picture Beaver reacting when I talk shit about my research team. That is like exactly how he reacted, just like that. And he, and he doesn't have a mic, so he can't even defend himself. He's just stuck watching. All right, Tigers.
That's going to suck for him because I'm going to be taking cheap shots, and he's not going to be able to defend himself. So I'm sorry, Beaver.
He should have a mic set up for next time, so at least he could just unmute and come in and defend himself.
And he's not even on video, like on the radio shows. That's funny.
Tigers at Rangers. So I'm putting Texas minus 1.5 on the screen, but to be honest, I'm starting to think I don't want anything to do with this series. This whole thing has a weird feel to it. Yes, the Texas Rangers came back and won yesterday. I know a lot of people in the Sauce chat were happy about it. I didn't bet it, but they were all celebrating, so they had bet the Rangers. I'll open up my notes, but All right, so there's just a lot of things, a lot of trends and patterns in this game that are just have recently switched directions that are weirding me out. First off, Dane Dunning started the season off great. Prop Beaver was calling him Dane Stunning, which was insane to even begin with. But then he started showing some signs of vulnerability. He got 2 bad starts in a row. He got rocked by the Tigers, of all teams, in Detroit. Then he got rocked by the Cardinals at home. Then he got rocked by the Angels at home. 3 bad starts in a row. Now, he's coming off back-to-back to quality starts. Not exactly dominant in the Toronto one, but he pitched really well in Yankee Stadium. Maybe he's righted the ship, but I'm not sure if I want to pay to find out, honestly. And then the other side is Joey Wentz, and on paper, the Rangers should annihilate this guy. One, it's at home in Texas. This has been one of the best home lineups this whole season. 2, he's a lefty, and the Rangers have crushed left-handed pitching this whole season. So on paper, the Rangers would score 7 runs off Joey Wentz, but there's just something weird about the Rangers. Do you know that Texas is just 8-11 in their last 19 games? They've been playing below 500 baseball for nearly a month now. Well, for 3 weeks and some change. I don't know how much I trust the Rangers bats right now. I won't bet the Tigers, but I don't know if I really want to lay the 1.5 here. I think they're a bit overpriced.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better myself. I had a little bit of money on Texas last night after they went down early, and I was very happy and felt very, very lucky they came back and scored a whole bunch of runs. I don't want anything to do with a side or a total. Marcus Semien and Adolis Garcia had pretty decent numbers. They've only seen him 3 times, but they each got to him in Detroit. So I would look to maybe their props. Each of their total bases are plus money. Both of them are extremely good hitters. They've been hitting all year long. So either one of those 2, if you want looking for a hit parlay or something like that. But besides that, I don't really have much on this game. Josh Jung is another one as well, who's 2 for, yeah. So that's, I want nothing to do with this game, really.
Yeah, I knew as soon as I started capping this game that everybody and their mother was going to be on Texas. You know, I was on them last night, and I paired them with I think Corey Seager to get a hit. I'm gonna do a little bit of the same. I think the matchup is enough to kind of overcome all of the bullshit, right? All of the 99% and all of that stuff. The public is right every now and then. It's so heavily public. I've already seen so much on Twitter about this shit. It's so heavily public that, you know, anything can happen. But yeah, I'm going to decide that I don't really give a fuck. I'm going to go Semien to record a hit and Texas money line at minus 113. I'm also going to take Ezekiel Duran over 1.5 total bases at plus 130. And I'm going to take Ezekiel Duran for a home run at plus 420 on FanDuel. Semien is pretty self-explanatory. He crushed the shit out of lefties, a really good fastball hitter. Joey Wentz is going to throw his fastball over 50% of the time. Almost everybody on Texas destroys fastballs. That's another reason why I love this matchup. Ezekiel Duran at the bottom of that lineup. He's been the hottest Texas hitter over the last 14 days. He's been the hottest hitter versus lefties. I mean, there's a ton of hot hitters on Texas versus lefties, but he's been one of the hottest. His ISO and slugging numbers versus Wentz pitch mix are the best out of the team. I had a really hard time deciding who I was going to pick. There's so many options. Ezekiel Duran, when he makes contact, he's hitting the fuck out of the ball. He has multiple 2+ hit games over his last 10 games. So there's a variety of ways for him to cover this total bases. Obviously, one swing at a bat, a couple of hits, a double, shit like that. He's decently fast, so he can turn some stuff into doubles, being aggressive on the bases. Yeah, so I'm going to be invested in this game. I also agree Texas should score, on paper, they should score 6, 7, 8 runs. I thought about taking a super run line at minus 2.5. I think that's seeing the money percentages and shit like that took me off of that a little bit. But even in a close game, I trust, if this somehow is a close game, I trust Texas to win the game. It is the best matchup on paper that Texas can have at home versus a lefty, one that sucks, one that throws fastballs over 50% of the time. So I'm all over Texas.
Yeah, I like that.
Just to add to your Zeke Duran point, there's 4 lefties in that Texas lineup, or there's 4 guys in that Texas lineup that have a 1. OPS versus left-handed hitting. There's only 2 of them with 1. OPSs at home, and it's Duran and Seager. So Duran at home is always a safe bet. So I like that one. I'll probably tail you on that one.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Cleveland at Kansas City. Cleveland next. I know it's at like minus 140, minus 145, something like that. I'm still on them. I think it was kind of a outlier, kind of a ridiculous series of events that last night's game was even close. Cleveland's a much better team than Kansas City. I like Logan Allen. I know that everyone's all over Cleveland. This is crazy public. But the odds makers have been taking a bath mispricing this Kansas City Royals team all season. Sure, they picked their 4-6 in their last 10, so they got a few right. But as a whole, they have not seen this team correctly for most of the year. I know Logan Allen got hit up in San Diego, and the Astros got to him too, but Cleveland won both of those games. In fact, Cleveland has won 5 straight Logan Allen starts, and a couple of them were really good. He went into Baltimore and shut down the Orioles. 7 innings, just 3 hits, no runs. Also went into Minnesota, beat the Twins. I don't think he should have any problem beating the Royals here. Ready for this? The last 7 lefty starters to pitch against Kansas City, they combined to allow just 11 runs. 7. The last 7 lefty starters to start a game against the Royals have allowed a combined just 11 runs. So they're averaging just over 1 run off these lefty starters. I expect Logan Allen to pitch well. And then on the other side, there's a guy named Austin Cox pitching. I don't know who it is. I don't give a shit. I'm fading him. Cleveland money line, minus 145. Much better team.
It's minus 135 on MGM.
Oh, say less. Usually what I do is I do the line shopping right before I post the ticket, and usually I post the ticket before the show, but I haven't posted it yet. So that's why I haven't done all the line shopping yet. But I'll take 10 cents for sure. Yeah, the line movement's terrifying with everyone on Cleveland. This is definitely looking like a trap. Don't care. Why does that guy always ask if Toast is stoned? Is he like a parole officer or something? Like, who cares? This isn't a church group.
It's because I have lazy eyes. It's because I have lazy eyes. Like, who cares? Like, in general, I have lazy eyes.
Who cares even if you did smoke weed? Like, what is this? Like,
oh, I'm high as shit. There's no question.
All right, go.
I don't know if you guys have never seen me sober. I can assure you that. I smoke weed all day, every day. Like, I don't hide that, but my eyes are not like that because my eyes are just naturally lazy. Anyway, I can't really add much to that, but Logan Allen is still a bet-on pitcher for me. I understand the Astros got to him, and then he went into San Diego and got kind of hit hard. But, again, he's a young kid. That's going to happen. I think that he probably let that Houston start fall into that San Diego start. And once they got to him early, it was kind of all downhill from there. He picked himself up off the floor against Oakland, and honestly, like Sauce just talked about, I don't have any reason to think that Kansas City is going to make him do anything different. So obviously, I wanted to play Jose Ramirez, but he doesn't really do well from the left side, and I was reading that Cox could go like 5 or 6 innings today just to see what they have with him. So I don't know if I don't really want to deal with that. So I did play Cleveland. I'm all over Cleveland with you.
Yeah, this is by far the scariest game on the board. I agree with you guys. Super trappy line. I'm not sharp enough to take Kansas City in this spot. Yeah, you guys pretty much mentioned it all. I mean, Sauce was kind of took you through the game log versus the lefties. Just to put it in perspective, I mean, last 30 days versus lefties. Sauce, I don't know if you said this. I was kind of zoning out, but
no, I didn't go through those.
Yeah, 27% K rate last 30 days. The WRC plus is 69. Nice. 69. So they're basically half of a team versus left-handed pitching. I don't get this game at all. It was the same last night. I took Cleveland -1, and they pushed that, but even the money line price was really, really fucking weird last night. It's even weirder today. I don't know what the fuck is going on. How is Kansas City going to win this game? I can't come up with scenarios where Kansas City wins this game. I don't know if
Oh wait, did he just lose internet? Oh, there he goes. You're back. You froze up for about 5 seconds.
Okay. I don't know if Clase is available to pitch. I know he pitched last night. I think he pitched 2 straight days. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I mean,
they do use him 3 days in a row sometimes. But Terry Francona's hasn't been there for a couple of days, so I probably would doubt it.
Yeah, and it looks like. I don't know how to read that, so I don't know what the fuck.
He's worked him and Stefan have worked the last 5. So to have them work even another game today would be A lot to
that's
ask.
a stretch.
Yeah, he's
that's
pitched 3 of the
definitely a
last 4
stretch.
days. Him and Steph. Most likely, him and Stefan not available. But still, like,
Yeah.
maybe that. You know what? That might make you feel a little better as far as the price, though. That's what the books are seeing.
I guess, but
Yeah,
then go ahead.
Nah, go ahead, Toast.
I was just going to say, Eli Morgan has a 1.67 ERA. De Los Santos is a 2.81. I mean, Henches has had a couple bad innings. It's not like these guys are bums out of the bullpen. I mean, they're pretty solid guys.
Exactly. Cleveland's bullpen's loaded. So are you going to take Cleveland?
Yeah, I'm taking Cleveland. I'm scared like a motherfucker, but
Me too.
I'll take them. No fucking choice.
Honestly, I would be a lot more scared if, like Sauce mentioned this too, like, it seems like the past 2 weeks or so, like, every Royals game is priced like you would not believe it should be. And every time it's rather you take the Royals because it's like, oh, yeah, the price is great. It's got to be the play. And they get throttled. I'm not there with it. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I also think
Whoever works in, like, whoever works in, like, the odds department for these books, the Pinnacle or Circa or whatever, whoever sets these numbers must be Royals fans or something, because they price them as if the Royals are about to go on a run every week, and they just never do.
yeah, and,
And just since we're talking about it, go ahead. I was just going to say, Barlow's not available for Kansas City, so he's their closer, so they have issues too.
Yeah, he pitched last night. I think he took the L last night, and
30,
that's what I was gonna
30.
say. Like I think last night was Kansas City's game to win. Right, scoreless through 8 innings. I forgot who was the Cleveland reliever makes that ridiculous throw to home base to let Kansas City score. I think that was that game to win. So, hopefully it means a Cleveland sweep and a Cleveland win today, but definitely terrifying.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Dodgers at Rockies.
You could even
This is
you're good.
Rockies money line for a small bet. Plus 170, plus 180, maybe. I didn't line shop. It's somewhere in there. So yeah, this is just me playing the value. So the Washington game last night is a perfect example of what I'm trying to explain. I know a lot of people, this is common sense, but for the people who don't get it, so everyone was talking shit to me for betting Washington on Monday, right? They lost to Seattle. I took them as plus 215 underdogs. Then I won last night. They were plus 200. So everyone, you might be thinking like, oh, okay, so I bet Seattle both times. We're 1-1. Like, no, we're not. I'm up big and you're down. That's the whole idea, is if you think they're going to win above the percentage that equals out the value. I need to bring up the spreadsheet to show you guys. So yeah, I don't think Colorado's going to get swept in the series. I think they're going to take one, and Kyle Freeland at home against Michael Grove. We know how bad he's been. Seems like the perfect one to do it. Again, when you're dealing with these high prices, you can bet them all 3 games. You only need to take one to finish out on top or break even. So, yeah, Rockies.
This is a pass for me. I would love to take the Rockies with Sauce. I definitely wouldn't be playing the Dodgers. No way in hell to take the Dodgers there. But I just can't do it. Still a little butthurt about last night. I won't lie about that. But I'm probably looking at like some Mookie Betts props or something like that. But I don't know. I probably should play the money line with you, but it just seems like every time I play against my Dodgers, nothing good happens. A couple guys to look for though, like for me, David Peralta and Miguel Rojas both have really good numbers against Kyle Freeland in their career, and they're not one of those main guys that you're going to have to pay minus 300 to put in the hit parlay. So David Peralta and Miguel Rojas, definitely guys to put in there. And Will Smith, excuse me.
Yeah, 100% agree with Toast. I'm not going to take a side, but Mookie Betts total bases. I think he's going to hit 700 feet today, so obviously he'll cash the total bases. I just can't take a side. I think the side is Colorado, like Sauce was saying, but I can't back Freeland. Definitely can't back Michael Grove. So I'm going to stay away from the side and just focusing on Mookie.
All right, let's move on to the next one, which is White Sox at Angels, and I think the White Sox is the play here. I'm on the White Sox money line, plus 120 maybe. Plus, let's just say plus 118 because I saw it there at some point. I'm sure if you line shop, you might be able to get a better number than that. So I really like what I've seen from Giolito recently. I know he doesn't have the best looking splits on the road, but if you just look at his recent body of work, 3 of his last 4 starts have been solid. A couple of them been excellent. He went into the Yankee Stadium and threw a 6-inning no-hitter, no hits, no runs. Yeah, I know it's the Yankees without Judge, but still. He just pitched he just pitched against the Angels about a month ago, and he was okay. 5 innings, 3 runs. White Sox won that game. I know. So, all right. So I know you might look at this pitching matchup, and if you're someone who looks at splits and who uses fan graphs, you might look and be like, okay, righty pitching matchup. Based on what I've been looking at all year, Angels should have the huge hitting advantage. And that's true. They do have the hitting advantage, but the White Sox are sneaky, under the radar, starting to hit right-handed pitching. In fact, the last 14 days, the Angels are second. The White Sox are 12th in WRC plus versus righty. So Chicago's been hitting. And then the Angels, we just saw Dylan Cease shut this lineup down a couple days back. I can see Giolito putting together a quality start here. And the other side is Jamie Barria, and I like Barria, but I don't know if I love the spot for him. He hasn't pitched in a week and a half, and the last time he pitched was out of the bullpen. He hasn't made a start in over 2 weeks. And in that start, he gave up 7 hits and a walk in just 4 1/3 innings of work. Granted, I'm pretty sure that start was against Atlanta, to be fair to him. But still, he hasn't made a start in over 2 weeks. So maybe a bit of a little rocky return to the rotation. But here's what really pushes me on the White Sox. So everything I just said up to this point, I think the first 5 is about a coin flip. I think Giolito's better than Barria. I think the Angels' bats are slightly better than the White Sox bats. I think we're looking at a coin flip in the first 5. But when we get to the second half of this game, the Angels' bullpen, not only is it really struggling, but it's also missing both Jacob Webb and Carlos Estevez tonight. Well, most likely. They both pitched 2 nights in a row. So despite also, anyway, in addition to having a bullpen that's really struggling, they're missing 2 of their main arms, their closer, and then 1 of their setup guys. So I really don't like the Angels bullpen at all tonight. And the White Sox bullpen looks like it might be getting hot again. 6th in WOBA in the last 14 days. So again, I don't really like anything in the first 5. I think this game's going to stay close. And in the second half, I think the White Sox have the edge. So at plus money, I'll take them.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree more. I tried to be sharp and take this White Sox team the last couple days, and they just consistently find ways to lose baseball games. Jaime Barria, yeah, you talked about him being on rest. This is kind of what he's done for the last couple of years. Earlier in the year when he faced the White Sox, he was on a pretty extended rest, like 10 or 11 days, and he went in there at Chicago in 5 innings, only gave up a run, so on 4 hits. So I don't really worry about him. Yeah, the Angels bullpen has been, I guess, coming down to life, as you would say it. But at the same time, I'm just not worried about it. I think that the Angels bats are way too consistent. You've talked about that on this channel many, many times and how consistent they've been all year long. I thought that they might go in a little bit of a slump, but they seem to just keep on winning games. So, and then, oh, by the way, the hottest hitter on the freaking planet, Shohei Ohtani, is 7 for 23 off of Giolito. So I'm going to be playing his total bases at plus money. But yeah, it's an easy one. It was an easy one for me. There's no way I could back the White Sox after what I've watched the last couple nights.
Yeah, I don't like a side here. I'm looking at current prices right now. I like some stuff early in the day, but the prices have kind of gotten out of hand, so I don't want to give them out now. If this thing would load. Yeah, I mean, every book has Giolito strikeouts at 6.5 now. It's plus money to the over, so if you want to take that, I like the number way better at 5.5. His K percentage is the same to both sides of the plate. His changeup and his sorry, my shit is so slow right now. His changeup and his slider, I'm expecting to do work against this lineup. I think there's just enough K targets in that LA line to get the 5.5 done. If you have 5+ in a parlay or something like that, I'm okay with it. I still like it. But yeah, I mean, I'm too priced out of everything right now. I was also looking at, crazy enough, I like his strikeouts, but I also like his walks. LA's walking at almost 11% rate versus righties the last 30 days, so which is extremely high. So, but that's minus 180 now. It was way more playable earlier in the day. So if you want to throw that in a parlay as well, go ahead. But like I said, too priced out of everything right now, so just a pass.
All right, 2 games remaining. Let's go with Tampa at Arizona. And this is actually a pass for me. One of my rare passes today. I need to pass on more today because this one, I don't want to lay the heavy juice to the Diamondbacks in Arizona. Absolutely not. But Zach Davies splits at home are so horrendous that I don't know if I could back him either. So I already have 12 bets on the ticket. I have no problem passing on this one. Looks like we lost Toast.
You did?
Oh no, now he's back. He's back.
Oh, that's weird. I was gonna say I saw everything. I'm on the over here. Is it at what's it at now? I think it was going up. Because I can't pull that up in front of me, but I like the over. I think I played it at 9. I'm pretty sure
you can still get it at 9, but it's juiced to minus 120 on FanDuel.
Okay, yeah. So I just look. After what we saw last night, it was already having leaning towards the over. Both of these look, and you kind of said it. Eflin on the road's kind of a fade, and then on top of that, Zach Davies splits at home are really bad, and Zach Davies has been really bad his last 2 starts. And if the Rays, I think that both teams probably just like hitting in this building. I can see it. Randy Arozarena played in the WBC there. So I can just see a lot of runs here today. I think this whole series we're going to be entertaining with runs here. So I'll take my chances with 2 of the hotter hitting teams in the league to get this over.
Yeah, and correlated to what Toast was just talking about, Arizona team total over 3.5. Again, some people hate drinking juice. I don't mind in certain scenarios. I'm looking at minus 140. I'll take the juice when I just think the number is way off. I think this line should be over 4.5 juice to the over. So for a lot of the same reasons that these guys just talked about, Eflin, I'm not running to fade him, but if I'm going to fade him, it's going to be against an elite offense like Arizona, and it's going to be on the road in this ballpark, which helps as well, like Toast was saying. So almost any time Arizona's team total is 3.5, no matter what the situation is, I'm probably going to take it or at least look at it. I think this checks a lot of boxes for that. So, yeah, Arizona team total.
All right, let's move on to the final game. Yankees at Oakland. And someone explain to me why I don't go right back to Oakland first 5 again. I mean, if you could think of a good reason.
Because I'm going right back to the under.
Oh, right, you're under guessed also. Oakland first 5 again. I don't know what it's at. I did, like I said, in line shop yet. Let's just say plus 100 because it's probably somewhere in there. Maybe a little better than that. But yeah, this is just a fade of the Yankees bats, and JP Sears has actually been pitching pretty well. You know that JP Sears, my man JP Sears, in his last 10 starts, we're talking all the way back to May 1st, in his last 10 starts has a 3.14 ERA. JP Sears is pitching really well, but again, this isn't really a bet on JP Sears. This is a fade of the Yankees bats. Prop Beaver tried telling me, like, oh, JP Sears has terrible history against the Yankees. Maybe the old Yankees. This is the new Yankees, and you could fade this team. So Oakland first 5 won't be a huge bet, but it cashed for me last night going right back to it.
Plus 110.
Plus 110? Okay, cool.
I played the under 8 last night. If it's back at 7 now. Don't know if I love 7. What's it at right now? Now I gotta look. 7.5. Yeah, I don't mind 7.5. I would still take a 7.5. I don't love it as much. It's just having that 8 as a push condition really helps. But it's the same thing as yesterday. I'm going to fade both these offenses. I really don't think Domingo Germán is as bad as what he's shown in Seattle or against Seattle and Boston. 8 and 7. That dude has been consistent all year. You can make the sticky stuff jokes or whatever you want, but that dude's been really consistent. And the last time he was in Oakland last year, he pitched a 7 and 2/3 innings gem, if I can say it right, with no runs on 3 hits. So, and Sears has been consistent too, and there's no reason to think this Yankees offense is just going to magically flip a switch and start hitting right now. So I'll take my chances with the under again and see where we're at.
Yeah, I'm right there with Sauce. Like I said, I'm a big puss, like I said yesterday, so I'm gonna take the plus half a run and just be a puss with it at minus 120 on Barstool. Yeah, I know. I should just take the money line. I fucking know.
It's okay. Sauce does it too. I give him crap.
This year though, Toast with the plus half run, you can't talk shit this year because it's cashed a lot.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, I think it'll be a low scoring game too, like Toast was saying. So in a lower scoring game, Domingo Germán, I still don't trust him. He has to show me more. I completely agree. He's not as bad as allowing 15 earned runs in 2 starts. I think that's just not MLB material. I think he is MLB material, obviously, but yeah, I think I like JP Sears. I like what he's doing to both sides of the plate as well. I like what he's doing. This lineup is a complete sell. Obviously, we adjusted all the lineup. I'm not going to take Oakland money line full game because I'm not getting a good enough price. I would have liked plus 140 to plus 150, but I am going to take a shot at Oakland double result, which is, let me get current prices. I'm sorry about that. Hold on. Game parlays. Oakland plus 200 on DK. I'm gonna shop around, maybe get a little bit better of a number, but I really like the spot for Oakland. I think JP Sears is gonna give you 6 strong innings, which is why I like the first 5. And yeah, I'll just take a small sprinkle, a small stab at the double result as well.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I mean, the Yankees just no offense at all. All right, so that's the last game. Let's talk community parlay. Community
is Oakland money line.
Can I say something really quick, Sauce?
Yeah, go ahead.
I put it in the comments just so you guys know. Jake Fraley is 3 for 4 off of Kyle Gibson with 2 homers. So I didn't play like a ladder, but I did play Jake Fraley over 1.5 total bases at plus 140, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 125, and I sprinkled a homer at plus 700. So I posted on my Twitter and stuff like that, but I just want to let everybody know it's finally a day that he actually has really good history against the pitcher. So I'm going to see what we do. And I never bet home run prop, so I just kind of sprinkled it.
He's 3 for 4. He's going to be 3 for 7 after today.
Yeah, because didn't you bet him? I think you mushed it.
No, I didn't bet Jake Fraley. I would never bet that clown.
Oh, okay, good. Whew, thank God. We're still alive, boys. We're still alive.
First polls up. Padres money line, Orioles money line, Marlins money line, Mets money line. Padres and Marlins out to an early lead. Man, everyone wants the Padres back on despite what they did to us yesterday. Oh, never mind. As I said that, a bunch of Marlins votes came in after. Let's give it like 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Padres it is for the first leg. Let me put it on the screen. First leg, Padres money line. Second leg coming. Let's go with Giants money line, Blue Jays money line. See if they want either of those. We'll go with Cardinals money line because people were advocating hard for the Cardinals in the thing, even though I didn't. And then we'll go Phillies money line. See if anyone likes. Giants, yeah, that's why I put Giants on there. Because normally, like a minus 110 game, I might not put in there, but I had a feeling people were going to back Logan Webb. All right, I can end this poll now. This one's over. Giants by a landslide. All right, so let me put Giants on the list. Padres money line, Giants money line. This is looking very NL West so far. Next leg coming. So let's start with Rangers money line. It's a heavy favorite, but we have a couple. So we'll go Dodgers money line, Guardians money line, Angels money line. All right, third leg.
I want to see Oakland money line on one of these polls. Bro.
I'll put Oakland on the last poll, see if it makes it. Wow, it looks like Rangers money line is going to take this one.
Did you guys know Snoop Dogg does kid songs? Kills it.
What?
Snoop Dogg makes music.
Affirmations.
His kid makes music.
Affirmations are funny. Yeah, dude. It's crazy. He kills it too.
I end the poll. Rangers money line is the third leg. Final leg coming in. Yes, I will add Oakland to give it a shot if people want. Athletics money line. That's never been on the poll before. Let's go with Rays money line. A couple that didn't make it. We'll go Dodgers money line. No, Guardians money line got second place. So let's go Guardians money line. And then let's do another second place. Phillies money line. All right, final leg coming. Get your votes in. Let's build this part. Toast, do you have a sports book open?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Oakland takes. Is Oakland really gonna make this? No way.
Come on, Chad.
Nah, Cleveland's coming back. Cleveland's coming back. And they're tied. Cleveland takes the lead.
Oh my god.
There was a second where it had a shot, but Cleveland's running away with this. No, Oakland's coming screaming back. Wow, this is actually close. 35-33. Let's give it another 10 seconds.
If I can tell you, if you put Oakland in that parlay, it's 962. If you put Cleveland in that parlay, it's 696. Big difference.
That's gonna sway the vote. Right there.
4, 3, 2, 1. And the winner is Cleveland. So what was the odds with Cleveland?
696.
Well, 696. So the community parlay: Padres money line, Giants money line, Rangers money line, Guardians money line at plus 696. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll be back tomorrow 11 a.m. I think Toast will be with me. And
yeah, my internet just kicked on.
All right, cool. And then Jay Briggs from Pick Dogs is going to join us. FTB, thanks for the last couple days. We'll get you back next week. We'll talk in the DM and pick a day or two. Everyone, have a great day. Remember to bet responsibly.